Good day everyone. My name is Zaidin bin Zaidi and my matrix number is BB24161020. Today, I'll be presenting tutorial 11 question 9b from our topic, a macroeconomic theory of the open economy. This presentation will focus on how changes in private savings in Malaysia can affect the real exchange rate, especially when the elasticity of Malaysian export is very low. Let's begin by looking at the question. If you take a look, the question is giving a situation in which Malaysians decide to increase their saving. So, the question is asking if the elasticity of Malaysian export with respect to real exchange rate is very low, will this increase in private savings have a large or small effect on the Malaysian's real exchange rate? To answer this, I will break down the key concept like the types of exchange rate, what happens when private savings increase, and how elasticity of exports plays a role in determining the final effect. So first, let us understand what an exchange rate is. An exchange rate tells us how much of our currency is needed to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. There are two main types of exchange rate concept we should know. The first one is nominal exchange rate and the second one is real exchange rate. The nominal exchange rate is the most basic type. It is the actual rate we see when we exchange currency at the bank or money changer. We can see the example here. If a $1 costs 1.3 US dollar, that's the nominal exchange rate. And while the real exchange rate is more important in economics, it adjusts the nominal rate based on the price level in both countries. It shows us the real value of domestic goods compared to foreign goods. It helps us to measure how competitive our product are in the world market. Here's an example to understand the real exchange rate. Imagine a product in German costs 2.5 euros and the same product in the United States costs 2.4 US dollar. If the nominal exchange rate is 1.36 US dollar per euro, we calculate the real exchange rate like this. 1.36 times 2.5 divided by 3.4 equals to 1. This means the real exchange rate is at par or equal. It tells us that the price of the goods is the same in both countries when we adjust for exchange rate and prices. So now, let's return to the main question. Suppose Malaysians decide to save more. When people save more, they spend less, especially on things like imported goods. This causes a decline in domestic consumption and reduction in imports. As a result, the current account balance improves because we are buying fewer foreign goods. This creates more demand for our own currency, which leads to an appreciation of the ringgit. When a country like Malaysia has a current account surplus, meaning it exports more than it imports, and it increases the demand for the ringgit, this causes the real exchange rate to rise, which means the ringgit appreciates. But here's the key point. The size of this appreciation depends on how sensitive our exports are to changes in the exchange rate. This sensitivity is called elasticity. Now, let me explain export elasticity. It measures how much export change when the real exchange rate changes. There are two possibilities. If export elasticity is high, a small change in exchange rate causes a big changes in export. However, if export elasticity is low, even if the exchange rate changes a lot, export demand stays about the same. In this question, we are told that Malaysian exports are inelastic. This means when ringgit gets stronger and our goods become more expensive, foreigners still continue to buy our products. So, even though the ringgit appreciates, exports don't fall so much. This is important because normally, stronger currency should reduce exports. But here, because of low elasticity, exports remain stable. At the same time, Malaysians are saving more and spending less. So, imports are falling. This creates a trade surplus where we are exporting more than we are importing. The trade surplus increases demand for the ringgit, causing it to appreciate even more. Because exports do not fall so much and imports are already going down, there are no strong force to stop the ringgit from rising. This leads to a large appreciation of the real exchange rate. So, the final answer is an increase in private saving will have a large effect on the Malaysian real exchange rate if export elasticity is low. In conclusion, we explored the relationship between private saving, trade balance, and exchange rate. Even though economics can be a complex subject, this example shows how everyday decisions like saving money can affect things like our currency and economy. I hope this presentation helped to make the concept clear and easier to understand. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your time and attention.